Right,
That wasn't
clap
synchronized.
Well, it was
Almost.
white. Anyways, welcome back to the
Women.
the intro, boys.
You love them or you don't.
That is not going to be our intro.
What are you talking about?
Women.
No,
You
no.
don't love more, you don't. Yeah, fair enough.
Fuck's sake. Welcome back to the Fire Five Guys podcast. I'm your host, Nathan.
I'm not your host, Joseph.
I'm the fat fuck Adrian.
I just took a really big shit.
He's John. Didn't even say his name. He just wants his name. He took a really big shit today. Or
Wait,
about 5 minutes
John,
ago.
did you do the one plop and then wipe, or did you, indulge, give yourself a few extra plops?
Indulge, mate.
Well, I had a bit of time in it, so
What-
I indulged a bit. Well, not too much, don't worry.
Welcome back to the Fire Five Guys podcast. Today we're going to be talking about sports because the Olympics just happened about a week ago. As the time of
they?
recording.
How irrelevant were the Olympics?
They were trash. You
No
know
one
why?
watched it. No one.
You know
I
what
know.
the worst
Nah,
part
I
about
didn't
it is
watch it.
I
They
did.
didn't put the opening ceremony on TV because time zones and shit. But they didn't even bother with it. They put the opening ceremony. They didn't put it up on the official Olympics YouTube channel. But you know what they did do? They re-uploaded like the last 4 events worth of shit, as if I care about Rio 2016 or something. No, I want to see what happened in Tokyo this week. So we didn't see that.
The only thing that I watched was like half a volleyball match while waiting to get my hair cut. And I was at
I watched a bit of the basketball because I found it funny that America kept doing pretty poorly when it's the only
It's
sport
the
that they're
best.
famous
No,
for.
I watched
That's
quite a
it.
few of them. Badminton, horse riding, skateboarding.
Did you see that woman punched her horse in equestrian?
Nah, but I saw
In,
the German woman that
dressage.
failed.
Yeah, that is the same person. She
Well,
was.
the
yeah.
German woman punched her horse.
Yeah,
Nine.
Her horse
Fucking
wasn't
nuts.
making the jump. And she
Yeah.
just
Nine,
fucking-
I did not punch the horse.
She right crossed that horse in the face. And I'll tell you what, I don't like horses, but that was a shocking thing to see on like international TV. She
No, of
she
course.
fully like wound up and just gave it to him.
I can't lie.
Center stage as well.
Watching the whole thing from the beginning, I think we can all say and agree that horse knew exactly what he was doing. Yeah,
She's
it was
probably
just
hit
taking
him
a
before,
piss.
and he said, "Fuck you."
Yeah, because every time that horse was going around, you just see it smile. They like literally run up to the thing, stop, and then smile. It's fucking incredible.
I don't support equestrian as an event because you're not really doing. You're winning.
It's
a
the
gold medal
horse.
for the horse doing it. Yeah, put it in a horse show. That makes sense. This is human sports, and
actually.
this
I
isn't
don't.
crufts. Where the dogs at? You know what I mean?
I don't
Fairs.
understand how you can put in the Olympics how you can put like humans with animals because they're both two
Yeah, it's a
factors.
team thing, innit?
Yeah,
Like
right.
you can't say that humans the best if their horse was the best.
And you can argue that, okay, the horse is like the skateboard, it's just their tool. But then with even de-animalizing,
Yeah.
we're
but every
Well,
horse
like
is
the
built
horses aren't
different. though.
intelligent. Yeah.
Exactly.
how would you feel if you were a horse? Like, you know what I'm saying?
I'd kill myself. I hate horses.
What horses
Absolutely.
are?
Nah,
hate
but that's the
horses.
thing. Horses, how do they even kill themselves? Like, what can you do? You're just
They
there
got
chilling,
break
four
their
legs.
No, they break one
Yeah,
of their
you
legs and
fuck
they
up
get
the
the
leg and
guy
then
to shoot him in
someone
the face.
puts you down. Get turned into glue.
It's like if us four were put into some like game and then there's 4 people playing as us as characters and then we just have like there's
But
like
we
a
still had the ability to make our own decisions.
yeah exactly and then
And
it's
then
like we're
day
just being
one,
control on day one. They're like, oh yeah,
they'd be like, "Oh,
I'm
the
the
greatest
best.
gamer in the world," and you'd be like, "No,
But-
I put so much effort into this."
Yeah, and the horse gets no medal. Does the horse get a medal?
Horse doesn't get. It gets
The
like
horse should get a medal.
it gets.
It gets
they
put
give it like
down.
some treats, and a few years later, they're
Yeah.
like, "Well, you had a good run. Take him outside the back of the shed, shotgun him, turn him into glue."
With a nice little Luger, you know, if anybody knows.
Because they're
any guns.
German, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
They'd probably use a Beretta though, because
Probably.
they make good shotguns.
they do,
Yeah.
they do.
Speaking of the Olympics,
The shooting was terrible.
no,
That
no,
fuck-
it was sick. Did
the-
you see that Russian woman with this world's greatest stance for shooting?
Which,
Hand in her pocket, just straight, not like looking sideways at the target. She had hand in her pocket, just
not the
fuck it.
triathlon one,
And she
but
won gold in
the
that.
fucking triathlon shooting / thing.
The biathlon.
Whatever they
Yeah.
ran and they
Oh,
shot.
it's the quads. It's like you
No, it
you
was
like
the
run, shoot, swim, cycle.
Pentathlon. That's
Pentathlon.
What it was.
That's
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
The woman that was started first, she fucked up. She literally got to the thing first. Yeah, everyone finished except for her, and she was still trying to shoot.
I'm not gonna lie though. If
That's
I
just
run
not-
like a mile and a half and you asked me to shoot a target,
But this
I
was at
will
the start,
vomit
though.
first.
This
Yeah,
was
no,
the
but
start of the
run it-
race.
Wait, that was the first.
Yeah,
no,
that
but
was the first thing.
She had to run up to it, didn't she?
Well, she had to run up to it, but it was like only 100 meters,
Oh,
and
Didn't
she
do
still
shit.
missed.
That's a
every
very
single shot.
weird sport to make pentathlon. Like,
Pentathlon's
how
weird.
does shooting link to cardio?
Well, there used to be like a weirder Olympic
Pentathlon
Games.
doesn't
Like
mean
hunting
cardio.
was an actual
Yeah,
game.
yeah,
Well,
but that was
well, you
that was
run-
in Greece and like.
What do you do in a pentathlon?
Yeah.
You run, shoot.
Jump.
Yeah, you do
Swim.
hurdles or in a.
Or
in a-
lock-
cycle.
Some kind of jump. I don't know. I think it
Let
might
me look
change.
it up actually.
Run,
It's
shoot,
like
swim,
that's,
cycle.
no, it's the steeplechase thing in it where you like they do the big old jumps and you end up in like a pool of water. At the
Oh,
bottom.
yeah.
You know the weirdest thing about the steeplechase? That was originally an event for horses.
All right. Okay.
That's
wait,
why the
what?
hurdles are so big.
No fucking.
Okay,
surprise.
apparently it says the Olympic sport is fencing, freestyle swimming, equestrian show jumping, and a final combined event of pistol shooting and cross-country running.
A combined event of pistol shooting. You know what the issue is there. Too
It-
many goddamn.
There's a
things.
decathlon. Is that 10?
Yeah. No, that's actually a sport.
Of 10
store.
track and field events.
Decathlon.
Yeah, that's a good store in it.
And
Sports
then there's the heptathlon,
Yeah.
which is 7.
That is, see, this is the issue. Why are you trying to combine all these things?
Yes,
Why
They
try
don't
to do
link
freestyle
together.
swimming and then go for a run?
Mm.
The ground is wet, cuz there's no traction. I'm slipping, and now you're looking at me like a dickhead.
I can't lie. I remember where I
doesn't-
did a
it doesn't line up.
triathlon in like year 4. Yeah, it was outside, fucking freezing, and my fucking shorts started to chafe. Like that
Oh,
shit.
but because it's wet.
Yeah.
It's
You
wet.
need
and
like
then it rides up.
you need like
Mm,
special
powder.
gear that like quick dries or something.
Yeah, you need powder like that shit. You
Talcum
need
powder.
baby powder, talcum
Yeah.
powder.
'Cause
But
it-
there was none of that shit.
Yeah, because it like sticks to you and shit. And if there's
It's
sand there,
because
oh, you're
It's
fucked.
a dumb
mate.
event, and it should be gotten rid of. You know what I think should be in Olympics? Nothing. I reckon. You know what they should do? Get rid of all the sports. Just put Uno in there.
Uno's a sick game.
16 days straight of Uno,
Mm.
and then the Paralympics.
Why isn't chess in the
Paralympics could do
Olympics?
snap.
Chess should be in the Olympics.
They need to
yeah.
put like a lot of fucking actual shit
No,
in the Olympics.
but actually, I think in the Olympics they can't. Wait, can they? Oh, they do boxing, which is a one-on-one sport.
Mm.
Because
Boxing-
most
no,
of the
but
sports.
it's different rules in it from regular boxing and
Yeah,
karate.
well,
Didn't you
it's-
see
it's-
that
it's,
the guy got disqualified?
Amateur boxing.
No, it's like less contact. The guy who in the final round for karate, it was I think Saudi Arabia versus Iran or something. I can't remember.
They're
But the
great
Saudi
friends.
Arabian guy, he landed like a perfect kick, and it knocked the other dude out. But because you're not allowed that much contact in the Olympics, he got disqualified from that fight, and he wasn't allowed to win, even though he just landed a knockout.
Yeah.
Imagine doing everything right
And still
and
losing.
then losing. No, not even and still losing, and losing because you did everything right.
No.
He timed it perfectly. He set everything up right.
Mm.
He hit the kick that he's been taught to do from like yellow belt,
Mm.
and then he gets not only told off, he gets points deducted, he gets disqualified, and he was winning it. He was winning. He'd won every. He was winning 4-1 at that point.
Mm.
He'd won every round. He lands a perfect kick, and he gets told he's
That's the
second
thing.
place.
That's
The Olympics just like PG everything.
Yeah,
Like why have karate but you then say
less contact.
exactly.
yeah, but that's a bit dumb because it's like you're doing like a GCSE maths question and you use like
Less
A-
maths.
you
Use A-level
use
maths.
A-level maths for the working out. They're like, oh no, you used wrong because you didn't use
Yeah.
GCSE maths. Like, why would you not reward someone for doing something more advanced?
Especially since the Olympics is meant to be every country's highest level of competition in there.
Mm.
It's your greatest athlete. who
And
does
then
super
and,
much
and then
better.
they can't even do
And
what
then
they're
they
best
can't
at.
do. Yeah,
I can't lie. The one thing that I fucking loved was the women's boxing. I don't know the UK.
Oh, there was
woman.
there was a really good boxing fight. The women's boxing.
Mm.
thing.
Did you see the one with the England's woman against
was the Americans.
no some like Dutch woman? Fucking size diff. This woman, an Oompa Loompa, yeah, against a fucking giraffe, and she still won. She had like a point taken off, and she still got golden medal.
Well, the point was taken off because it was below the belt, innit?
I
And
don't
It
know.
was peak because I think
Yeah.
it was below
Does
the belt,
that
and it was
count in
really
women's
peak.
boxing?
Yeah.
There's nothing to
No,
hit.
because it's still like you have the same frame of.
Yeah, but it's
Um,
nothing to hit on.
you
But it's
can't
also really
like-
peak to disqualify her below the belt
Yeah,
because
'cause
her
sure.
arms regularly were already below the belt.
was
She
fucking
sticks out her
amazing.
arms to do the glove touch,
Wait,
and the woman
what
is
was
standing above her going like this.
what was
to
the
do a
actual
glove
height
touch.
difference? Was it like 6 foot versus like 5
Imagine
foot?
me and Safe.
It was yeah.
Was
it
that
was,
actually?
Before
it was
Safe
like-
had his like
it was a
growth
growth
spurt.
spurt.
It was a foot and a half difference, basically.
Really?
It was like it was like a
Fucking
good. It was
How
definitely.
was that the
dominated
same weight
centimeters.
class?
Arm length,
Dunno.
mate.
I don't. What,
Did it have
what
weight
the Olympics
classes?
is the weight classes are weird because it's like catch weight basically,
Mm.
where it's like they combine.
Oh, it's
two
because
or
it's,
three.
it's over like 2-3 weeks, whereas in boxing it's like you gotta get like
You
down
get-
to
yeah,
wait for
you
this
get
fight.
your fight camp. You get
Maybe
your,
they have like a range you gotta be at or
Fight camp.
something.
Yeah, that's how they
First
do
rule of
catch weight.
fight
so-
camp.
Well,
is
no,
you
it's because
can't
like
talk about
the
fight
thing
camp.
about combat sports is that most athletes are like 10-20 kilograms above the actual fighting weight,
And
but then they
cut
drop
weight
all the way
across their
down
Fight camp.
just to be able to box or fight at that
Mm.
weight.
Not in every country, yeah. Or not with every rule set. I'm gonna sound like a real big nerd. If you follow MMA, if you've ever seen one championship who are I think they're in China right now.
Was that where Starbender
where-
was?
No, he was in kickboxing. But if you follow one championship, they're against weight cutting
What was that?
because it messes up people's hydration.
Mm.
Yeah.
So they're lightweight because people normally would cut 20 pounds of weight to get to lightweight. And it would be-
Fucking
It'd be they go from 170 to 150.
Mm.
They say lightweight is 170,
Yeah,
and then they
yeah.
hydration test everyone to make sure they've got regular human levels of hydration.
Did you rip off half your mustache with that as
It
well?
ripped. Yeah.
Oh.
They check and see if they've got regular human levels of hydration before they're
That's
allowed.
Looking like fucking Leonard Brezhnev. Fucking bushy ass eyebrows.
Like Vic Star 1, 2, 3.
There you go. And Big Star 1, 2,
3
3.
here, but smack another episode of.
Lucky blocks.
Oh, Lucky Blocks.
Lucky
mine,
blocks
Trout,
these
no.
days. That should
Lucky
be an
Blocks
Olympic
Hunger
game.
Games.
I think you know.
That should be an
They
Olympic
were
fucking sport.
talking about
Esports
it before,
in Olympics,
Yeah, they were
is
talking
that?
about it before COVID and everything that they wanted to bring esports into the Olympics. And I
But
was
what would you have as your game? What would
they?
be your
I think they
esport?
were going to start with
League,
Overwatch.
surely, right?
Overwatch is so
League,
shit though.
They're
I'd
going to
want it
start
to
with
be
League is the
League,
popular
yeah.
one.
No, that's
League
League could
they
be-
wanted to start
League
with
and Dota
Overwatch,
would be
and then they were going to do they were
Rocket
gonna do
League. I'd like to see Rocket
I would
League.
like to see
League.
Rocket
Rocket
League.
League
I'll
would
be
be banging.
I think we
esport,
should
See,
man.
this is the
We'd
thing
be
that
on
they
that,
could
mate.
make an esport Olympics.
Yeah, and
That's
Yeah.
more viable than just adding
Yeah, but
esports
it's like-
into.
no, but
Because
it's
there's
like
so many
ESL.
esports. You
Yeah, but they
like, I'd
they
want to
can
see
do
League,
it.
but I know a lot of people would not
no.
be
Yeah, but
wanting
they-
to
would
see.
definitely be up there.
They can do it
Yeah.
like boxing weight classes. You have esports, then you have different games and esports,
Yeah,
different
yeah.
medals.
Mm.
Or no, but it could work as the Olympics because then you could have different you got like your own teams of esports like houses in it, and they've all got separate sections. Like
Like FaZe or
yeah, FaZe
TSM.
have FaZe
TSM,
does they started off in Call of Duty, but now they've got their own Rocket League team, they've got their own CS team, and
They
so
got
it's
every-
like
they're the biggest
it
one,
could
aren't
work.
Nah, TSM, bro. They got fucking League, Fortnite, Valorant, chess.
They were definitely in CS for like a little
Rocket
bit,
League, I
but
think,
they're
might
not
have
as
yeah.
popular.
Rocket League,
They do
yeah.
have a rock. I
They-
think
But it's
they-
just not
I
like-
don't even know
I don't
all of
think
the
they've got a Rocket
teams.
League team, but I think they've got a lot of players that.
And they-
stream.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And they got streamers.
Yeah, they have streamers and then have
Yeah.
actual competitive
Their
players.
building is so big now. Like they bought this
It's
huge
basically an
complex
apartment
thing.
block,
Like
isn't it?
no, it's like a fucking ginormous warehouse that they've basically made into this sick.
But they were
you know,
planning to add in
headquarters.
the esports Olympics into the Olympics. I remember them talking about it, but then because of COVID, they were like, we don't want to fly any more athletes out. And because when it comes to esports, you have to do the lands in it, and you have to have like them on that stage,
fuck up
5v5 for
esports.
CS.
Imagine
Well,
That is way
VR.
too close for COVID.
You
Imagine
don't
VR.
like, for example, I watch LCS which is
Yeah.
League, and during COVID they actually just played
They
from
played
the
home,
houses.
yeah. But for the
They did that
Olympics,
in StarCraft as well.
but for the Olympics, they didn't want
Shit.
to. For the Olympics, they didn't want to do it from home. They wanted it to be like a
Yeah.
proper.
I don't
land.
She will
think
punish
esports can go into the Olympics as it is. I think it could only go into its own separate kind of.
No, but it
There
already
could be
is
a
so
world.
separate.
I mean, there already are world championships for a lot of
Yeah.
games. Like there's
Well-
League World Championship. There's probably Overwatch World
There's
Championship.
Overwatch, yeah. I
Well,
think they
realistically,
had
right,
CS for a
Tokyo
bit.
was the best time to do an esport.
Yeah.
It's big in Tokyo,
granted,
isn't
It's
it?
yeah.
very big in Tokyo, which is why they want to
It's
start
probably
there.
big in
Or
actual
it-
sports in
Yeah.
some of those Asian
Well,
countries.
no, because I have statistics on this. The number one sport in Tokyo, in Japan, is baseball. It's their national
Is
sport.
it?
In fact.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
Yeah,
respect
they
it.
are. I watched a lot of baseball animes.
There's
I can't lie.
quite
I can't lie.
a lot of baseball, a lot of really good baseball players that you'll see now have come over from Japan, or they've been to Japan
In
for
the
some training.
MLB or something.
MLB
They did play
baseball.
quite nicely in the Olympics against America. America, I don't know what happened to them.
Their baseball team, you mean?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
America
It's
usually have
weird.
the best
They don't-
Olympics.
no,
it's them or
because-
China and Russia.
Yeah, what it was with
Those
this year
three.
as well is that because it wasn't the Olympics weren't meant to happen in 2021, right? They were meant
Yeah.
to happen last year in 2020. So the MLB season
Yeah.
started already, and you're not going to send your best play, and they were still
No,
playing.
no, fair
You're not
play.
going to send your best players off midway through the
Yeah.
season for the Olympics because you don't earn any money from that.
True.
Like the best American player right now, probably for baseball, and I'm gonna get real nerdy here, is arguably Mike Trout, best player of his generation, which is the 2010s.
Mm.
There's no way the Los Angeles Angels were gonna send them off for, and they had to send him off for more than 2 weeks because of COVID this time.
Mm.
No way they were gonna send him off for 2 weeks to hurt himself or something in the middle of the season when he
Yeah,
finally
no,
had a
fair
good year
play.
and he wasn't injured. Fuck that.
It's like football. Like in football Olympics, like they don't have most of the big names because
No.
they were in the Euros or whatever. They saved their best players for the Euros, and then they have like, I think they have like age limits in the Olympics for football. Like,
No, wait, do they? No, because there's no way they have age limits in the Olympics
because Danny
is it
Alves
maybe
was in there,
specifically
but-
for football? Because I know
I
there's
don't
no
know.
way if they have an agent for the Olympics, the person who won gold in skateboarding was 13.
No, but I'm talking about for football. specifically.
13.
Yeah,
I say you need to be like
Oh,
a certain
there was a
age.
15-year-old girl from Lithuania who won gold in swimming
yeah.
Jeez.
breaststroke.
they-
15. Imagine that.
What?
I don't know what the age limit is for the Olympics. It's weird as well because I think that is crazy to have someone who's like 13 go onto an international
Wait,
stage,
13?
face
Beaten by
that
a
pressure.
13-year-old. Imagine
No,
being
but they're
beaten
at the
by
prime
a
of their
13
no, because for most of those kids that are like 12 that are going to the Olympics,
Yeah.
they've been training since they could walk. And
True.
Yeah, but kids should be very good at skateboarding because they're quite small, like low central
you know
gravity.
why
you
America
know?
lost skateboarding? It's because they only sent people who can pass a drug test.
True.
Look, bro. You find a dude in the back of a Denny's parking lot at 3 a.m. named Squeezy,
Nah,
high as shit,
I fucking
and
hear
tell him,
that.
bro, you're going to the Olympics to do skateboarding. That's tight, bro. It's cool. I'll be there. Like, was it Japan? Fucking love anime, dog. He would have hit gold like instantly. Like,
Mate, I hear that. I fucking hear
Oh, actually, speaking of drugs in Olympics, right? Is caffeine a banned substance?
I think you're only allowed certain amounts of it.
Because like realistically, right, when you have like a coffee or Red Bull, you're a different person. Like
Yeah.
you're literally much better at what you're doing. So is it
That
banned
is-
or not?
I think, but it's also it's
But
probably
in like
banned in
any
certain amounts.
in like any sports, because imagine if you're having like a boxing match or something, and you're on like Red Bull or something, your reaction could be so much better than the other person. No,
well, like,
Unless you need to
because
piss.
everything is like
that's a fair point. If you give me 3 cups of coffee and tell me to fight someone, I'm shitting myself.
No,
And
no,
not
of
because I'm
course.
afraid, because
So
coffee's hitting you, bro.
those black beans are coming out.
You
right?
throw a punch, you're like, God
black
damn,
beans.
boy.
Is it
Coffee
what's
beans
it
too.
called? They're black though.
Yeah, but who's fucking munching on coffee beans?
Yeah, but I wasn't sure if it's coffee or
They're
cocoa
roasted,
beans.
yeah.
So I just said black beans because
But even if it's cocoa,
This
who's munching on cocoa beans?
You can eat. No, you can't eat
They're-
raw.
they're
You
in
can
the
eat the
coffee.
nibs.
yeah,
Yeah, they're ground. How do you think they make coffee, bro?
Yeah,
It's roasted.
Yeah,
But we're
you-
talking about cocoa bean, like coffee beans here, like full coffee bean, not ground coffee.
Well, no
beans.
one's shitting out coffee beans. 'cause we
Obviously
get
they're
digested
ground.
You get
anyways.
the- well,
You
no,
know,
you probably get the most amount of
Fucking
you probably get the
coffee
most
beans,
amount of
really.
caffeine from it though. So
Oh
there's-
yeah.
there's a weird thing like most athletes that eat, because they're all on like nutrition plans in it.
Yeah.
They probably have some weird diets where they can sneak in a certain amount of caffeine
Yeah,
before they
because
hit the
like
limit.
caffeine is literally like a drug, you know, like it's
Yeah,
gonna
but it's
affect
probably
how you
not
do
as
it.
good as anabolic steroids in it.
No, but like it's serious stuff.
Some
man.
dude who's
like,
on psychotic pre-workout just listens to
creatine.
yeah, he's listening to the Doom soundtrack in the gym, and he's like, "Bro, you want a Red Bull?" He's like, "No, dude." He just has like a gallon of
Fucking
protein
hell.
powder. I don't reckon caffeine's gonna make you catch up with him. It's weird, don't it? I think it's funny as hell that Russia got banned from the Olympics for doping, and
No
it
shit.
came back as the ROC, and we know that they're definitely still doping.
Yeah.
Like, there's no option in my brain
I
where I'm
was
like,
think-
"Oh, they stopped."
What does
No.
ROC stand for?
Rest of country.
Russian Olympic Confederation.
Mm.
And you know, crazy,
Confederation.
you know, crazy
Well,
thing
it's
is
called
they,
the Russian Confederation.
they still
Yeah.
came back. They still came like 6th or 7th in medals So you know they were still cheating because they was only allowed to send like 40 people and they came like 7th. Nah.
Russia's very
I fuck with the vision because that's consistency.
Mm.
They said we're gonna cheat in the past, and then people were like, oh no, don't cheat, and they said we're gonna cheat just under a different name. Like,
I respect it.
stick to the guns.
No,
they
no,
said,
I respect
well,
it.
I ain't no bitch.
How,
Like,
how can you respect that?
Huh?
because no, I don't respect the fact that they cheated.
Yeah,
But I respect the fact that they went, yeah, we cheated,
we can do
and
it
I'll
again.
do it again.
Yeah, sticking to their fucking, I say morals, but
The lack of morals.
yeah, you good.
Why'd you touch it, Joe? It was perfect. The way
Me?
It was. Yeah.
No, it just started falling. It's not screwed in, right?
Ah.
But it's like, I mean, the Olympics are weird, innit?
I loved
what were
it,
you
though.
saying about? I like the Olympics normally. This time around,
It
It was
wasn't
just shit
great,
this
yeah.
year. Like, I don't know
Yeah,
what it
and-
was. Maybe I'm getting older, so
no, they just didn't. They didn't like. Joe's in a
sort
fucking
yourself out,
hardcore
Joseph.
battle with his mic stand right now. Oh no!
This is going swimming.
This is going in.
Put it
the,
up straight.
This is in the bonus clips episode.
Less moments.
Bonus clip is 5 minutes straight of Joe. trying to
Okay.
figure out mic.
Testing. 1, 2, 3.
He's back in.
Everybody look
business,
at
baby.
me, because
Hey.
Bibbidi bobbidi boo. I
Bibbidi
smell
bobbidi
ragu.
boo.
But yeah, I think the
Smell
Olympics.
Ragu.
No,
Ragu
it
rabbit.
wasn't, it wasn't necessarily like worse this year because you're older. I think for most people it's more fun when you're older.
Mm.
But it was just bad this year because we didn't get to see anything. You have to go on BBC iPlayer like the day after.
All I'm saying is Albania beat Serbia.
That's the
all
same
that
country. How can you beat?
Fuck off. Fuck off. If you say that's even worse though.
Are Kosovo in the Olympics?
No.
No, they ain't qualified.
They're not recognized. Are they recognized as a country?
Not by everyone, but
Yeah.
I think
Oh. It's like
But we are a
Catalan.
country. We are a country. But Albania beat fucking Serbia, so take that. I'll take that as a win for Kosovo. Because one of their people was Kosovo. I'm pretty sure.
yeah, probably.
Yeah.
There's a lot of crossover in it.
Yeah.
Oh, you know Rosa Namajunas?
Rose Namajunas.
She's Lithuanian.
Yes,
Who?
I didn't know that.
Oh.
Rose
Ma-
Namajunas. She's a very famous. What is she?
UFC fighter.
She bantamweight? I don't remember what weight class she's in.
Bantamweight.
She's a UFC fighter. She won the belt back recently,
She's
by
like
knocking out Zhang Wei.
she's I think she's put down as US, right? But
Yeah,
she's
yeah.
actually Lithuanian.
I
Yeah.
respect it. I respect it. Congratulations to her.
Yeah.
Another
That's
point to the
that's my
We've
country.
been women. You know, I actually
Come
I
on.
think recently women's MMA has been a lot better than men's MMA in terms of.
Oh,
it's
we're
less
talking
boring.
about women in sports.
Oh,
Great.
I had to get a
Alright.
cheeky little segue for John
Alright, this
because
is
they have more exciting champions. I would say, if anyone watches UFC recently,
No.
then you will know of like obviously everyone knows about Ronda Rousey, but like the
I don't.
champion in that weight class is how do you people not pay attention? It's
You
pop
know what I do
culture.
every fucking night, mate? I go on my computer, play the same shit every fucking
Okay,
day.
but this is pop culture.
Me
This isn't
too.
even like she's like a
She's
world-renowned
like a-
celebrity.
See, I
Conor-
thought
Conor
you were
McGregor.
talking
Yeah, she
about a
was Conor
man.
McGregor, though.
I thought you were
Ronda,
talking.
I said women's MMA, and you go Ronda Rousey.
That could be a man's
You know,
name.
it's fine.
Yeah, I
Ronda.
thought it was a man's name at first.
Ronda.
Ronda.
You're right, Ronda.
I also said women's MMA. This isn't.
I
This
didn't
isn't
pay
about.
attention to that bit. I
I figured it
can't.
out. But
I
Amanda
zoned
Nunes
out.
is probably
Eunice?
Amanda Nunes.
Oh,
She's
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 Brazilian,
a champ.
yeah, champ. Absolutely demolished people, and she's genuinely. She is not a fucking coward. She will just. She's like, do you want to fight me? Okay, I'll fight you.
fair play. I
Doesn't
respect
duck
it.
anyone.
She's a mom, isn't she?
Yeah, she's a mom.
Mum.
Mom. Mom.
Mum.
The lioness. Amanda Nunes. No, there are no bloody balls, mate. It's women.
All right, can I finally talk about women in sports now?
Yes,
Go
you
for it.
can. This is your episode, John.
Oh, thank you.
Take the
I
stage.
think right, women's sports like is a very unfair place. It's a very unfair place. Do you want to know why?
Is this
Why?
because of transgender guys coming in and
I was
That's a very-
saying that. I was
yeah.
talking about that.
That is a
Obviously,
weird
I'm not
section.
I'm not being transphobic here, but I don't think it's right to put in men who have transitioned into women into women's
I agree.
sports, because at the end of the day, if I became a female, I'm still built like a male.
Yeah.
Got the
Like
biological
there's
makeup.
no women that have built like males.
so my question is, why is there not you know, For a 100-meter sprint, why is there not a men's, women's, and a trans section?
It's
It's
because
just not widely accepted yet. I'd say.
Yeah, and plus
Okay.
they're on the mindset of like, you know, it's acceptable if they want to be a woman, they could be a woman.
See, that's the thing though, because I would say, like, if you sit there, I would say, yeah, trans women are women, but because they have made the decision to become women and they are women now, it doesn't change the fact that previously they were assigned male at birth, right? That's what it's called.
like
Assigned
they're
male at
built
birth.
like a man, like
And they've got the biological makeup. Just going on like estrogen treatment and getting injected in you doesn't change the years
of testosterone.
of testosterone in that body. And it's not their fault. I wouldn't blame them for that. But I would say it does give them an advantage. Whether it's unfair or not isn't, that's up for debate.
See,
But it does give them an advantage, and it must be stated. However, I will say as well, there's been a lot of criticism recently on, I can't remember the runner that it was, but I can't remember her name, but she has abnormal levels of testosterone for a woman, but she is biologically female. She was assigned female at birth. She didn't transition, and she got banned from the Olympics and banned from running because of the amount of testosterone she had.
Well, that's
And
not
that is
No.
completely unfair.
yeah,
That's outrageous.
Because it's just, that is a natural thing. And it's also completely unfair because for the Olympics especially, people's weirder mutations and stuff is what gives them the advantage. Michael
Yeah.
Phelps isn't necessarily the technique to swimming is still the same. Yeah, he's an elite swimmer, but the reason why he did so much better is because he's got a crazy wingspan for a human being. He's got crazy shoulders, and he could be better at swimming naturally.
What does he
there
look
is no-
like? Does he look weird?
If you look at him
No.
flexing, he's got like genuinely his shoulder muscles and his shoulder blades are like more defined and they're larger than most human beings, and that gave him an unfair advantage. Would it be unfair to let him compete?
I'm not looking at
It would be completely unfair to let him compete because no, it'd be completely unfair to tell him that he can't compete because he still had to train to do that.
no,
to
of
do that good.
course.
Which is why I think it's a subject that needs to it needs more time on it, because even though I would say yeah they're women, like it's not. If you say that they're not women now, I would say that's just transphobic. But should they be allowed to compete? Not until we've spent more time adjusting the rules,
That's
because it's very unfair for someone who's spent like all this time training and their body physically limits them from having the same proportions and power that they would have in boxing, for instance.
like that's the thing though, because like, granted, trans people aren't as like widely accepted around the world and shit. Yeah, and I can sort of understand the whole, if someone transitions into a woman, you know, they fit in the female category, you know, for that unification and all of that fucking equality stuff.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like you said, you know, you can't really do that to an extent because they are still biologically a male and they have that.
They've got the proportions.
yeah.
It's not necessarily that it's like, I mean, it's not like they're doing it just to get an advantage in sports. Like, because it's not like there's this whole argument as well online as well, not just with sports, but like there's this whole like idea that people transition so that they could get the advantages of being the other gender, and it's not because of that. It's because in their brain and how they feel, they are the other gender that
No,
they
of
that they
course.
were assigned at birth. So it's like it's unfair almost to both parties there, where it's like for the person that's transitioned, it's like we can't put you in the male category because that is just rude to you and to who you believe you are. But if you put you in the female category right now, then it poses like an almost crazy question of how does everyone else who didn't transition and who was originally assigned female at birth and remained female, who's what's the word, cis, like what did they do to compete because they can't compete?
That's the thing. Like, personally, and like, I know some people might criticize the whole thing if I say this, but to be honest, I feel like there's nothing wrong with having two more group categories, like trans male and trans female.
Yeah, but there's not enough competition in there. I don't think. Like, how many actual trans athletes do you think there are?
I
True.
think there's probably quite a lot,
Like,
but we
there's
just
probably
don't know
not
them.
enough to make an actual competitive section. Like, 'cause there's not enough for them to
Yeah,
be
but you
like.
say
There's
that,
like
but you
10
gotta-
really good ones.
Okay,
there's 10
well-
No,
not so
I
good ones.
say you have to give it time because up until like a couple years ago, female MMA wasn't widespread. Nowadays, you have people all over the internet like, I'm gonna be the next Ronda Rousey. I'm gonna be the next Amanda Nunes.
Of course.
Wait, okay, guys, hear me out. Is it completely wrong to say that trans people maybe should be put in the Paralympics?
Yes.
I'm not saying what
Yes.
it is wrong to say that.
Unless
yes.
they've got an actual
Disability.
disability,
Oh,
then yes, it is wrong.
Yeah, but that might bring it more
Recognition.
recognition.
But it would also be completely unfair to
Oh
disabled
yeah,
athletes.
But you're saying like someone's got a disability.
not a
because
disability.
they
Oh,
don't
wait, well,
feel-
like-
but is
well,
it
like
really
putting-
though?
Putting
Yeah,
them
because
against
Okay,
being
each
trans
you're
isn't a
saying
disability.
that all the people that are in the Paralympics are disabled. What about them? You don't mind saying they're disabled, but a trans
Because-
person,
they
okay.
have a
I wouldn't-
physical
I wouldn't call
disability.
being trans a disability.
Hold on,
Yeah.
wait. Are
I mean,
are
but-
we talking about putting trans people in there against trans people, putting trans people in there against
I
like, people in a
say,
wheelchair?
if
That's obviously
anything-
not fair.
No,
That's-
no.
Like, you can't put a perfectly
Yeah,
physically
but-
able person against someone who's physically
Right, but how
disabled.
does that work? But how does that work in the Paralympics, where some people are in wheelchairs and some people are just blind?
But
Or-
if
They're
well,
missing
but
a
that is
leg.
for
That
the
is still a
sports.
disability.
Diff-
I
yeah.
wouldn't call being
Right.
trans a disability.
No, no,
so
no,
I
but
wouldn't
you've-
put it in the Paralympics.
But when you think about it, you've gone through. It's like losing your leg. You've just lost your third leg instead. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Is it-
Yeah,
I'm
but
not.
it's
I'm not
more
saying
of a, it's more
that.
of a trade-off than it is a loss, isn't it?
Yeah, of course. But
So,
my
because
point
it-
being that people in the Paralympics. Okay, why are they in the Paralympics? It's only because
Don't have a
they don't
leg.
fit into
They're
the
blind.
because it's not fair for them to be in the other
But
categories
it's not
because
just about them not fitting in. It's
But that's the thing,
it's-
though.
the Paralympics is if you have a disability and you are a professional athlete, you enter Paralympics.
Yeah.
If you don't have a disability, if you're able-bodied and you are an athlete, you enter Olympics. So it wouldn't be fair to say you're trans, go into the Paralympics, because then it's assuming that being trans is a disability, and it's not. And the easiest way to do it is people like can just decide to transition over time in their brain, but no one wakes up one day and goes, yeah, I'm feeling pretty blind today. It's like, it's the whole thing where it's like you can't label it as a disability, so it couldn't go into Paralympics. Whether or not they need a separate category, I wouldn't say I'm the person to ask for it, because I don't think I know enough about trans struggles and or being an athlete to do the relevant category. Because when it comes to categories, it's always weird.
It is.
Because it's like, if I woke up now and said I wanted to be a boxer or something, people would be like, I don't know if you've got the right build for it or something like that. Maybe you should go do running.
But that's the thing, though. It's not necessarily segregating a group of people from another group, but it's giving them the opportunity to be the
compete
main
against-
focus
to
and compete against people
to
with
shine.
yeah.
But it would still feel, in a sense, if they were in their own separate thing. Even though I understand exactly what you mean, it would still feel, and it would seem like you're almost kicking them out, and it'd be like they wouldn't be seen. Like, if someone transitions to a female, they want to be seen, and they are, and they should be seen
Of course.
as a female, so they should be allowed to compete against other females. However, their biological makeup makes that a touchy subject, and it's an iffy thing. And so if you put them only against people that have transitioned, not everyone who's transitioned is going to be like the exact same level of fitness and power and to be an athlete. So it's like, I don't know if you can do separate categories. I don't know if you can just drop them in right now as it is, not say anything. I think, honestly, it's just we have to give that a couple years.
No, of course.
No, but I definitely think that they shouldn't be.
Right now, I
Competing.
don't think it should be.
Because look, if you think about it like this, right? Let's say you gave everyone knows like Mike Tyson, right?
Mm.
Imagine you gave Mike Tyson Eastern for 2 years and then put him in
That wouldn't make
heavyweight.
a massive difference.
I don't think
heavyweight.
it would.
This man's still
Like you're literally
slapping.
watching like a man beat up a woman if you're
Mm.
watching transgenders in sports, basically, because
Is
like
what
it's
it would-
the
yeah.
build of a man beat up a woman. So this applies to all sports because in combat sports it's obvious
Mm.
because like someone's getting literally fucked up because the other guy's like massive, which is it's the same thing in track sports or other competitions where you're not facing someone one on one. So you can't put people against. Like I just don't think you can do it in any sport. You can't put.
I think it's just to give it time. To
Yeah, no.
Like you have to give them their
100%.
own category, or you got to do something. But you can't. Like
I think they gotta give it some time to figure out. But I also don't necessarily think we are the best people to figure this one out, boys. I'm not
no,
lying.
but you know what's crazy, right? Is that they did a category. They put transgender men. They put them in weightlifting.
Mm.
So you have literally men lifting up weights against women lifting up weights, and they broke all the female records. Like they broke every single one
That's
by like
You're talking about,
hundreds
you're
of
talking about,
pounds.
Male to female transition.
Yeah,
MTF,
yeah.
alright.
And like
Oh,
they
yeah, I
literally
know what you're
and
talking
so they're
about. I've
like,
seen it.
what the fuck's going on? So they just
And a lot
blocked
of
the
the
transgenders going
females,
in.
yeah, felt bad about it because it's like,
Well,
That's what I'm
like
saying,
because
though.
imagine if
Because they were physically
like
limited from-
if you're a female and you're competing, imagine how shit it is knowing that you can't be champion because someone else there is literally built better than you, like is built to be the champion.
Mm.
yeah, but it's also the
Like
same
it just
thing
fucks over
where it's
women,
like,
basically.
it also is the same thing where it's like if we go back to that the female runner who wasn't allowed to run because she's got more amounts of testosterone than other people, so she has a better advantage. Some people are just naturally going to be born better than you anyways. Like I'll be honest, if I have more testosterone than, like, if I got twice the levels than other people and I decide to get into sports, and it's a sport that requires high testosterone for you to do like the best, everyone else in the sport, as much training as they're going to do, they're probably still going to feel bad that they'll never beat me if I've got twice the levels.
Yeah, but
But then
At least
then it's still you are biologically made up to do better, aren't you? Because
Yeah.
you've got twice the levels of testosterone. If we're doing like, I don't know, because it's that thing where it's like nature versus nurture. If I'm naturally more gifted than you, then and you'll never be able to catch up, then it's also the same. Like the records made by the women previously, before trans athletes had entered the sport. Some of those, like, if you get someone who is a genuine freak of nature, like, you're never going to get anyone better than them, not in a million years, then it's also kind of like, that's kind of just how it is.
yeah,
There is like, okay, so what could it be? If I've got like crazy, if like, what's his name again? Shaquille O'Neal, right? No one, I don't think there's ever going to be someone built like Shaquille O'Neal. That man can like deadlift his like 400 pounds. He is 300 pounds. He's 7 foot like 7 foot 2 in shoes. I don't think there's ever going to be a basketball player who isn't built exactly like him, or isn't built similar to him, who could ever do the things that he did in basketball. Like, there's no one who's going to be dunking so hard and breaking so many backboards that they're going to have to reinvent how they make backboards. But
yeah.
if someone's doing all of this training, do I reckon that they could eventually make a 54-inch vertical where he would only have to make a 10-inch vertical jump? Maybe. But does it change the fact that they will never, ever hit those records that he hit? Nah.
Yeah,
That's
but the
the
thing
thing.
is, right, is that in most sports, it's about style as well. Like in combat sports, it's about
Combat
style.
sports, I think, is very
Like,
different. That is a
Yeah,
whole
that's
different
very
argument
different
in itself.
because, like, obviously, there's the Freaks Nation, like in Tyson Fury, Tyson Fury,
Yeah.
who's like no one's built like Tyson Fury.
Yeah, no.
But he can still be beat just from stylistic.
Yeah. Where that's the thing. When it comes to
differences.
combat sports, it's like styles make fights. That's the whole.
Yeah.
That is one of the main things that you ever hear. It's like styles make fights. If you're an MMA and you put a wrestler against a boxer, the wrestler's probably gonna win. But it's like when it comes to stuff where it's like just straight up running or something like that, where it's like how fast I go against how fast you go, and it's all based on how much testosterone I have, how tall I am, like how strong and defined my leg muscles are, how my body structure is kind of iffy anyways. Like, should Michael Phelps have been allowed to compete when he had a better wingspan than 99.9% of the people on Earth? Who knows?
That's the thing. Like, to put it simply, like for now, like you said, we can't really like make up decisions and shit because it is partly a sensitive topic, partly a bit of a
Societal thing.
yeah, like no one really knows the full extent of what certain people go through in this, that, and that, and it's not widely acceptable as it could possibly be. So for now, the only thing we could do is hope for the very best. Yeah, all trans people, you keep doing what you're doing. Got mad respect for all of you.
Yeah, it takes a
Much
lot of
love.
strength as well to just decide to transition
Yeah,
and
but-
knowing what society's going to do with you.
But just for the sake of women, it's like I think there should just be different categories. Because like, you can't fuck over women just to please trans, or you can't fuck over trans to please women. Like, you just gotta separate them. It's different things.
That's
But
it.
let's leave that for now because we're gonna waffle on too much.
If you have any inputs or opinions, feel
Leave it
free
down
to
below.
yeah, or any experiences, you're more than welcome to share.
If anyone's got anything to say,
We'll read it,
hit us up.
maybe.
We'll read it. We might not read it.
You
if
might
I
be
don't
a
like
guest.
your, I know about a
If
guest.
I don't like you, I'll read it.
If you leave a voice message or something, I'll edit in.
I'll read it if you subscribe.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And
Subscribe,
like
tell
the
your
videos.
friends.
Like and subscribe
You
button.
start
turn that
sharing it
notification bell
around.
on to enter our iPhone 12 giveaway.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
We're
guaranteed.
just giving away my phone,
That is not true. just cheeky little disclaimer, you know.
but it has
hello,
got a
people.
cracked screen, so you
Yeah,
might get a new
it's-
screen for
yeah,
that one.
It's got texture.
It's got
Yeah,
it's
it's
got
got
character.
character. Yeah, it's
there
got
you go,
heart.
that's it.
It's not what iPhone is it? It's iPhone 11. Sorry to scam you.
Couldn't even give it away if we tried.
Fair enough.
But I think that's all we got to say for this one.
Yeah. Thanks for listening.
Much love to everyone.
I've been John.
I've been Gary.
I'm not doing this again.
I've been Phil.
And I've been Keith. Nice to meet you, mate.
Bye.
See ya.